Hello, my name's Lucy and I'm 58 years old. I recently got custody of my grandson, Matt, and today I want to tell you about the events that led up to this, because it was a lot to go through. I'm finally at a place where I'm willing to talk about it, and I think sharing it here will only build my confidence to talk to people in real life about it. Let me begin by telling you about my daughter, Melanie. Melanie is my one and only child, but she was the apple of my eye. When she was just 3 years old, her dad and my husband passed away, and so it had always been just the two of us. She was a bright and brilliant girl. If there was one thing I absolutely adored about her, it was her sense of work ethic. It was what got her everything she wanted, including a full ride to her dream college. Melanie met her husband Nathan in college, and they got married almost immediately after they graduated. I was not too thrilled about it because I wanted Melanie to at least have a taste of the outside world while being independent, but I held my tongue because I didn't see it as my place to say anything. I was just happy to see her happy. The only advice I gave her was to hold off on having children so soon because she needed to focus on her career first. She did not really listen to me because only 2 years later she got pregnant with my grandson Matt. I was once again not thrilled that she was pregnant so soon, but a part of me was a little excited at the idea of becoming a grandmother. When Matt was born, it was truly a moment of pure joy for me. The first time I held him in my arms, I just knew that I was going to spoil him rotten. Fast forward to around 2 years later, Melanie and Nathan decided to move to another state because Nathan found a better job there. I was not happy that I was going to be separated from my grandson, but I knew that Melanie and Nathan were only doing that to provide a better life for Matt, so I learned to live with their absence. They did come back around 8 years later, and I was overjoyed to welcome them back. During those 8 years away, I did not see them in person even once. I only ever communicated with them via Skype and your regular calls. Anyways, when they got back, Nathan and Melanie rushed head first into working. They began to leave Matt with me a lot because they would work from 8 in the morning to 9 in the night. Now, I have no idea if they were actually working, but I was glad that I got to spend a lot of time with Matt. As a result, the both of us got close. I became Matt's favorite person and he became mine, and I spoiled him just as I had originally planned. But things only started going downhill starting with Matt's 12th birthday. His parents and I always have a big celebration for him, but this particular birthday I could not be there because I was on a work trip. I tried my best to come back by the morning of his birthday, but I couldn't. So to make up for missing his big day, I met up with only him the next day. "Hey, sweetie, happy belated birthday." "Thanks, Grandma." "I'm so sorry I couldn't make it yesterday. I tried my best to make it back in time, but it was already 11 p.m. "It's okay. You made it up to me anyway." How could I not celebrate my favorite grandson's birthday? "I'm your only grandson, Grandma." Okay, you're still my favorite though. Anyways, 12 is a big age. What did you do yesterday? Nothing. Nothing? Oh, come on, Matt. If you're trying to protect my feelings for missing out on your birthday, I can assure you that I'll be fine. No, Grandma, I really didn't do anything. What do you mean? Didn't your parents take you out for dinner? I sent your mom money for that. Well, I sat at home all alone throughout the day except for when my friends came over for a bit. Mom and Dad came back home really late from work, so I didn't do anything. Why were your parents working on a Saturday? Mom and Dad picked up extra hours because they apparently needed the money. That's odd. The least your mom could have done was tell me that they weren't celebrating your birthday. I would have had even more money to spend on you. Grandma, that's really sweet, but I'm already used to this. What do you mean? I mean that Mom and Dad are almost never home and they always miss big events because they're too busy working. That's so sad. How do you feel though? I was sad yesterday, but I don't think I should have been. Why? I mean, it's only natural to feel bad when your parents forget about celebrating your birthday. I mean, they've been doing it for so long, I should not have thought that they would have remembered. Sweetie, that's so incredibly sad. I'm going to talk to your parents about it. You don't deserve this. No, please don't. They'll only get mad at me and they might not let me see you again. But please, Grandma. Fine. But you're staying with me tonight and we're celebrating your birthday properly. I tried my best to forget what Matt had revealed to me for only the duration of his celebration with me. I took him out and let him buy whatever he wanted. He seemed very happy and I was glad that I was able to lift his mood up. The next day after Matt left, I called Melanie and asked her why Nathan and she hadn't celebrated Matt's birthday. Melanie simply told me that they were busy. That made me very angry. Aside from the fact that Matt was my grandson, he was also just a child. No child deserves to be forgotten that way. I told Melanie the same thing and she told me to mind my own business and not teach her how to parent. I held my tongue only because I was worried that she would cut off my access to Matt. Around a month after Matt's 12th birthday, I got a phone call from Matt while I was at work. Grandma? Matt, sweetie, how's everything going? Grandma, I need help. What? Why? What's going on? I feel really sick. Oh, sweetie, where are your parents? I've been trying to tell them that I haven't been feeling well for a long time now. And they haven't been listening? No, they keep telling me that I'm fine and that they're too busy to do anything about it. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is the pain? 10. Whoa, where is this pain you're feeling? Near my tummy. Grandma, could you please get here fast? I don't think I'll be able to stay awake for too long. I'm already on my way, sweetie. Just keep talking to me. Tell me, how long have you been feeling this way? I've been feeling this way for a week and a half now. And it's always been this bad? Yes. Why the hell would your parents not take you to the doctor? That's not right of them. I don't know. I tried to tell them. I even went to them and cried about it, but they just brushed me off. I'm going to have a stern talk with them. In the meantime, I'm only 10 minutes away, sweetie. I'll be there super soon. Are you lying down? I'm sitting at my desk. Could you get on the bed and try to lie down? Maybe that will ease the pain a little. Okay, well, I'll try. Oh, Grandma, everything's getting so blurry. Matt, stay with me. Sweetie, Matt. I was panicking like crazy. I quickly rushed over to Matt's place, and while driving there, I called 911 to get him help as fast as possible. Thankfully, my place of work is only a 7-minute drive from Melanie's. I got there before the EMTs and rushed inside. When I got to Matt's room, I saw him lying on the floor looking blue in the face, and when I touched him to check for a pulse, he felt really cold. Thankfully, I felt a pulse in him, and only a minute after I reached there, the EMTs also arrived. They quickly loaded him up in an ambulance and rushed him to the nearest hospital. I kept calling Melanie and Nathan, but neither of them responded. So I left them voicemails and messages informing them of what had happened. Right as I was imagining the worst-case scenarios, Matt's doctor told me that he had a ruptured appendix and needed to have emergency surgery. He was rushed into the ER, and I paced back and forth as I waited to hear about the results. I still couldn't get a hold of Melanie or Nathan, and my anger towards them was only growing with every minute. Thankfully, Matt's surgery went off smoothly, and he quickly came back to consciousness after he was put into his own ward. About an hour after Matt awoke, Melanie and Nathan rushed in. "Oh my God, Matt! What happened?" "Apparently my appendix ruptured, and I needed to have immediate surgery." "How did this happen so suddenly?" "Suddenly? Matt has been telling you about this pain for over 10 days. Sure, but how were we supposed to know that it was this serious? Are you being serious right now? As Matt's parents, both of you should look after every pain and illness that Matt has, regardless of how tiny and insignificant it seems." I don't appreciate you talking to my husband that way. I wouldn't have to talk to either of you this way if you just took care of your son. Are you accusing us of being bad parents? Yes, I think I've been pretty clear about it as well. This was our only mistake. A mistake that would have cost Matt his life if he hadn't called me. Not to mention both of you value your work over Matt all the damn time. We do not. Right. Tell me that when I've been picking him up at least 3 times a week from school because both of you forgot that you had to. Listen, we're working hard to provide for him. Sure, we forgot to do certain things every once in a while, but that doesn't make us bad parents. You think Matt is going to care about all the money you got him 5 years down the lane? No. All he's going to remember is how you neglected him and how your neglect almost got him killed. You are overstepping so many lines. That is it. You may be Matt's grandma, but you have no say in how he's brought up or what we as parents do. I want you out of his ward. But Mom, I want Grandma here. She brought me here, so I think she deserves to be here. Matt, stay out of it. Once you're nice and healed, you are going to be in trouble. Why will he be in trouble? He could have called us and told us about his pain. Instead of coming to us, he went to you, and now we're beyond humiliated and embarrassed. You can't take your feelings out on him. He's been suffering, and he reached out to the only person he knew would take his pain seriously. Okay, Lucy, you really need to step out now, or we will have to get you thrown out. You can't do that. As his parents, we'll be given first priority. I just have to tell the nurse to take you out of here. Fine, but this isn't over. Matt, sweetie, take care. Everything will be fine, and you have absolutely nothing to worry about. I'll see you soon. I was beyond enraged, but once again I decided to hold my tongue because I knew that I couldn't just abandon Matt when he most definitely needed me the most. I tried my best to get in contact with Melanie and Nathan to get updates on Matt, but neither of them answered any of my calls or texts. I could only hope that Matt was recovering nicely. That was until just a week after his surgery, Melanie called me and asked me to look after Matt during the daytime after work until they came back home. She never addressed our last conversation, nor did she apologize for how she talked to me. I let it go because I was just happy to see Matt again. The next day, I rushed over to Matt right after work and saw him lying in bed and playing a video game. There's my brave and strong man. How are you doing, champ? I could be better, I guess. Have Mom and Dad been taking proper care of you? Well, they left me alone all day, so... What? I thought at least one of them would have taken off to look after you. It was truly a miracle that even one of them stayed with me when I was in hospital. Oh my God, you poor child. I want out of this house, Grandma. Is there anything you can do about it? Of course. I mean, I'm your grandma, and your parents have neglected you enough for me to use my rights as your grandma to take custody of you. But I don't think that your parents will be too happy about it. Who cares what they think? They clearly don't care enough about me. I completely agree. You'll be a little busy though, and you'll probably have to go to court, and it'll be really tiring. I'll do anything to get out of this house. If I could survive my appendix bursting, I think I can handle being tired for a while. Wow, just how much damage have your parents done? One time they forgot me in another state because they got too wrapped up with their own things. Another state? Yeah. One time they surprised me with a road trip, which only turned out to be a business trip for the both of them. I stayed in the hotel the entire time while both of them worked. And one day after their meeting was done, they just left. They completely forgot I was even there. I had to spend a whole night at the police station waiting for them to come back. Did the police say anything to them? They spoke to my dad and he told them he was overtired and that it was an honest mistake and they let him go. I got yelled at afterward for not calling them. My God, they're monsters. Do you see why I want out so bad? Absolutely, honey. Let's give you another day or two to feel better and then I'll bring a lawyer over and we can start discussing getting custody of you." "Thank you, Grandma." I didn't think I could get any more appalled by Melanie and Nathan's parenting, but there I was, listening to just a few snippets, and I already wanted to unleash hell on them. I knew that it would not be right to get my emotions involved in this situation, so I just spent the rest of that day talking with Matt and trying to make him feel better. The next day, I took a week off work, and the first thing I did was get in contact with a lawyer. He advised me to collect as much evidence as I could about Melanie and Nathan's neglect, and so I started to do that over the next 4 months. I got Matt on board and asked him to keep track of everything. We set up a hidden camera in his room so that every conversation was recorded. Gradually, we collected more than enough evidence. Along with evidence from the past and testimonies from those involved, we had more than enough evidence to guarantee my custody of Matt. With that, I filed for Matt's custody, and Melanie and Nathan was summoned to court. Of course, they did not take it lightly, and I got a very angry call from Melanie. "What do you think you're doing?" "Oh, hi, Melanie. Do not try to be nice to me right now while you're trying to take Matt away from us. You have shown me one too many times how you neglect Matt. I don't want him growing up thinking that he's never cared for." "That was one isolated incident, Mom." "I've been speaking to a lawyer and to Matt. Matt has told me about all the other non-life-threatening ways you and Nathan have been neglecting him." "So you've brainwashed Matt into thinking that we don't love him either?" "I didn't do that. I think he wanted to leave a long time ago, but he didn't know he could." "How can you even say that? This is all you're doing. You had to throw a huge fit in front of him at the hospital." "Melanie, I don't think you realize just how scary it was to walk into your home and see Matt lying unconscious and blue on his floor. It took everything in me to remain calm and get him the help he needed. Your nonchalance about everything that happened to him is only making me angrier." "We are not being nonchalant." "You haven't even been paying attention to him after he had his surgery. Neither of you even took some time off to look after him. He's been home alone most of the time." "Oh, shut up, Mom. We invited you over. He was not alone." "I only see him after I'm done with work, which is around the afternoon. You and Nathan leave early in the morning and don't even get back until late evening. He's alone for a good portion of the day, and as far as I'm concerned, that's major neglect." "How do you expect us to pay off the surgery, huh? That was only more stress on us." "Are you trying to blame Matt for something he had no control over? If the shoe fits, you know what will alleviate you of all this financial stress? If you let me take care of Matt. He's my son. Your son that you do not care for. You can either make this easy, or I will drag everything you've ever done to Matt into the public. Are you threatening me?" "If the shoe fits. Now I have to go meet with my lawyer. You have 3 days to give me an answer. Bye." I actually did plan to provide evidence of all of Melanie and Nathan's neglect to all our family and Nathan's family, along with their workplaces, because I saw no reason for people like them to have children. It was only a miracle that they lived close to me, so I had some form of knowledge of what was happening on the inside. Matt was upset that his parents just did not see why they were wrong, but I stood by his side and assured him that the way his parents fought was not influenced by him or any of his actions. 3 days later, Melanie and Nathan willingly gave up their custody of Matt to me. Let me tell you, I have never in my life seen someone as happy as Matt was when he found out that his parents were signing over their custody of him. Matt cried for a good 5 minutes in pure happiness. Seeing him that happy only made my heart break even more for him at the thought of what the poor child must have gone through for years before someone even listened to him. Of course, Melanie and Nathan were not very nice about handing over their custody of Matt to me after the deed was done. At first, they were low-key about it, but then the family began to get suspicious of Matt never being with them. They eventually came clean about their loss of custody of Matt, but not before blaming me for ruining their family. I got hundreds of calls from so many people telling me that I was a horrible person for taking a child away from their parents. I ignored all of it because Matt was my first priority, and creating a safe space for him was more important than dealing with people who just wanted to gossip. I dealt with all the harsh blows that my family sent my way and made sure that Matt would have no idea about it. But then things took a turn for the worse when Melanie and Nathan began telling everyone that Matt had been the one to convince me to take away their custody. Now, Matt has a phone and number of his own, so he began to get texts from a lot of family members asking him why he was breaking his parents' hearts this way. That was when I truly saw red. I was fine with whatever Melanie and Nathan had been saying about me, but to drag their son's name through the mud? I would not stand for that, and I would not remain silent. So I created a group chat for everyone in the family that had been harassing us, and I shared a folder full of evidence of Melanie and Nathan's neglect of Matt with them. I then exited the group chat and blocked every one of them on both Matt's and I's phones. I heard from some of my family that I was still in contact with that evidence I shared with everyone else had caused major backlash towards Melanie and Nathan. They've been ostracized by the entire family, and nobody's willing to associate with them. One of them even contacted both of their employers about their actions, and Melanie and Nathan are facing issues with their jobs. I would feel bad for them, but what did they expect when they were the ones being cruel and inhuman? I stopped wanting to hear anything about them, not only for Matt's sake, but also for mine, because every time I hear anything about them, I can actually feel my blood pressure shoot up in anger. But let me end this on a happier note and inform you that Matt has never been a happier boy. He's gone back to excelling at school, and if there's one thing I miss before having Matt stay with me, it's a quieter house, because the boy constantly has his friends over. I'm joking, of course. The child deserves to laugh and smile as much as he can after everything he's been through. I'm going to do my best to protect and provide for him, but I can already tell that he's got a much better handle on his life and himself, so I really won't have much to worry about. Thanks for giving me your time.